welcome. So today we will learn about lists in Python, and this is going to be very easy and very interesting. So here let me directly go to my replit.com and I will create a new file and I will call it as lists.py, and I can close other tabs, and I will also have to go to main.py and import it here. So I will say import lists, and I will comment out this one. I am going here and pressing Ctrl// on my keyboard to comment this earlier import, and let me go back to my list file. This is here, and I can also close the sidebar. So if I now say print hello from lists.py, and if I run to check, and yes, this is working fine. So now we can write our code here. Now, as the name suggests, lists is a data structure in Python where we can store list of items. Okay, so here list is used to store list of items in Python, and here it is created by putting items inside square brackets. So always remember, whenever we use these square brackets and put some items inside this, it will be a list. So for example, I can say list 1 equals, I can give any name to the list and then use the square brackets, and this will be a, if I don't put any item here, it will be a empty list. And then if I say list 2, or let me say give it some name like numbers, and then I use these square brackets and I put some items like 1, 2, 3 or anything here, this is now a list of integers. Okay, so I can say this is list of integers. Then I can, let us say I create another list, I will call it as colors, and then here I am putting the name of some colors like red, blue, green. This will be a list of strings, and then we can also have mixed list. So let's say if I create a list, I give it the name mixed list, and here I say I have items like some integers, I can also have some float numbers, I can also have some strings, etc. So this will be a mixed list. Okay, and to print the list we just have to give the list bracket. I will say mixed list or whatever is the name of the list, is printing the list here. Okay, now a list can also have another list as an item. So I can say, let's say I here in the within the square brackets I give some items, for example Python, Java, and then the third item in the list is again a list. So let's say I say list 1, 2, 3, and then I again give some more items. So here you can see this list is one of the items of this list. Okay, so here we can say a list can have another list as its one of its item. Okay, now we have to learn how do we access elements from a list. Okay, so we will say access elements from a list. So let's say I have a list. I have a list called numbers, which has all these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I can directly print the list by giving the list name like this, and you can see it is printing the list as it is. Now if I have to print a particular item from the list, I can use the index position. So I can say print numbers, and then within the square brackets I can give the index position. So index position always starts from 0, so that means this item is at index position 0, this is at 1, this is at 2. So when I say print index position item at index position 2, that means the third item, which is here, this should be printed. So let us run and check this, and you can see 3 is printed here. Okay, then if I give some index position which does not exist, let us say I say index position 5, which does not exist because we have until index position 4 here. If I run this, we will get a error, index out of range. Okay, so this will result in a error. Index out of. Now I will keep all this code and all the notes in the description of the video, so whenever you want you can check the description, you can get the code and any other links, any references, I will keep all in the description of this video. Okay, now if I say print, and this is the list numbers, and within the square brackets I say -1. So what will be the output here? Will there be some error, or what will it print? Try it out before I run it and check what does it do. So if I run it, let us see, I'm getting 5. That means the last element of the list. Okay, so if I say -1 index, that will refer to the last element of the list. Similarly, if I say -2, if I print the element at index -2 of this list, let us see what does it print. It is printing 4. That means the second last element. This is second last element. So this is how you can access the elements of a list. Okay, now next let us learn about slicing a list. Okay, so I can also say print and my list numbers, and then within the square brackets I am saying 2:4. Okay, this means from index position 2 until index position 4th. So this is not included. This is like if I say 4, it is 2 to 3. Let me show you. I will run and it will be more clear. So you can see it is printing 3 and 4. That means index position 2 to index position 3. I can also say 2 to 5. If I say this, it is printing 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so this is third to fifth element. Then if I say I will say print 2 colon and I leave the next number, it is 2 colon. So this means third to last. Let me save and run it. So you can see third element to the last element. Okay. Then if I say colon and say -2, this means it will start from the beginning of the list. It will start printing from the beginning or start accessing the element from the beginning to the third element. Okay, let us run and check. So you can see it is saying 1, 2 and 3. It is printing 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and if I just say, I just give a colon without specifying the start and end, this will say beginning to end. This was beginning to third, this is beginning to end, that means the entire list. Okay, so you can see this is printing the entire list. Okay, so this is how you can access the elements from a list. The other thing is lists are mutable. That means we can change the lists, or items in the list can be changed. Okay, so let us see some examples. I'm creating a list called my colors, and here I will put some strings: blue, green, red, yellow. You can do hands-on along with me, and whenever you face any issues, any questions, you can let me know in the comment section. So I have created a list called my colors, which has some color names. Now I can just print this. I can say print my colors. I will save and run. So this is all working fine. It is printing the list here. Now if I say my colors and at index position 2, that means the third element, I will make it equals to, let us say, pink. Okay, and now I will again print the list and check. So let's see. So you can see here the third element is changed. Okay, so this is how you can change the elements. And also I can say, I can change a range of elements. I can say my colors and I will give a range here. I will say 1, 2, 3 is equals to, and I give a new list here. I say orange and let us say purple. Okay, so this will be second to third item of the list. And if I print the list again to check, I will save and run. So you can see this second and third items are changed like this. So this is also how you can change the items in a list. Therefore lists are mutable. We can also add the items to a list or elements to a list. So let's say I have a list called numbers and I have some numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let me just print and check. So I have created a list called numbers which has the items 1 2 3 4. Okay, now I can say numbers dot append, and I gave another item, let us say 5, and I will print again. Let us see the output. So you can see it has appended 5, it has appended this item to the end of the list. Okay, I can also say numbers dot extend, and here I can give a list of items that will be appended to the existing list. So I am saying here 6 7 8, and I will print it to check, and you can see it has appended this list of items to the existing list. Okay, we can also combine the lists using the plus operator. So for example, I can say print, and I will use the list numbers, and I will use the plus operator, and I'm going to add this list having the items 9 and 10, and let me just print the list again to check, and yes, you can see here it is saying okay, this is fine. I am already printing it here, so therefore this is what we are getting it here. If you want to store it in another list, you can do that, but as of now I am directly adding and printing, so this should be fine here. Okay, then we can also repeat the items in a list. I can say so repeat items using the asterisk or the star symbol. So I can say print numbers, and I will say star 3, and let's see the output. I will run this, and you can see it has repeated the list 3 times, or the items in the list 3 times. Okay, we can also insert items in a list at a desired position or location using the insert function. Okay, so how to do that? I can say numbers dot insert, and here I will give the index value. Let us say at index position 2 I want to insert the item 2.5 here, and then I will print the list and check. I will run this. So here you can see at index position 2 it has added this item 2.5. Okay, we can also delete from a list or delete the complete list. We can use the del keyword here. So I can say here del numbers, and I can give some index position, that is, let us say 2. So this will delete the third item. Okay, I will print and check, and also I can say delete and the list name, and I can give a range, let us say 2 to 4. Now this will delete multiple items as per the index positions or the range you have given, and I will again print this. And you can also delete the complete list by just saying del and the name of the list. Okay, let me run this and check. So here you can see when we said delete the third item or item at index position 2, you can see here it has deleted this item, which is 2.5, the third item. Then when we said delete 2 to 4, then it has deleted 3 and 4, and this is the list now, and this has deleted the entire list. Now if I try to print the list again or access the list after deleting, let us see what we get. There should be some error. So here you can see it is saying this is not defined because now we have deleted this list. Okay, so if we use this, this will result in error. Okay, so this will be something like list not defined. Okay, now let me add some separator here so that I can see that on the console. All right, now let us say I have a list. I have a list called numbers, which has some items or elements 1 2 3 4 5, and if I say numbers dot remove and I give the value 1 here, so this will remove item 1, not item at index position 1 but the first item. Let us print and check. I will say print numbers and I will run it. So you can see it has deleted the or removed the first item. Then if I say numbers dot pop and here I say give some index position 2, then this will pop the item or remove the item at the index position 2. I will print and check. So you can see it has popped the item at index position 2. Here let me check this. Okay, so here we remove the first item, then here we are popping the second item or item at index position 2. And you can see here after we did this remove 1, our list was, after this operation, after this line at number 67, our list became this 2 3 4 5, and then we are saying again pop 2, so index position 2 will be 0 1 2. That means the item, this particular item 4 should be popped, and therefore we are now getting this list 2 3 and 5. Okay, I can also say numbers dot pop without any index, that will pop the last item. So pop or remove last item, and this will pop or remove at index position 2. Let me save and run this, and here you can see it has removed the last item. That was 5 here, so it has removed here. Okay, I can also say the list name numbers dot clear, and this should clear the list. That means all the items should be clear, and this time if I print the list, I should get a empty list. Okay, so you can see I'm getting a empty list here. So delete list, which we did here, this is deleting the complete list and the list will not be accessible. But if you just want to clear the list, that means you want to remove all the items, you can use the clear function like this. Okay, I can also copy list using equals sign. So I can say something like I have a list called list1, which has these items 1, 2, 3, and then I say list2 is equals list1, and if I try to print list2, let us see. So you can see list2 has the exact same elements as list1. Okay, let me again add a delimiter here or a separator here. Alright, I can also say, let's say I have list 1, I have a list, and then I create another list called list2, and I will say list1 dot copy. I will use the copy function. So using copy function as well, we can copy the list. So if I again print list2 here, I will save and run. You can see we are getting this copied in list2. Okay, now if you have to loop through the list, how do we loop through a list? Let's say I have a list called fruits, and here I have fruits like apple, banana, and grapes, and let's say strawberry. Okay, and if I have to loop through this list, we can use the for loop. We have already seen this in the for loop session, or in the loops session. I can say for fruit in, or let's just say for item in fruits, which is the list name, and a colon, and then here I will say print item. So if I now run this, you can see it is now printing, it is looping through the list and then printing the items in the list. Okay, and if you have to check item in list, I can say, I can use the in keyword, I can say print, and I want to check if apple is there in the list, I will say apple in fruits. Let me use another example that should return false. If I say check orange, so I will say orange in fruits, that is a list name, and this should return true or false. So if I run this, you can see the first one is true, that means apple is there in this list, and the second one is false. Okay, we can also have nested lists, that is a list within a list. So for example, I can say my list equals, and I will have some items here, let's say 1 2 3, and then I have another list within this list. I can say here we have some items like 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, etc. Now if I have to access any element of this nested list, I can say I want to print some particular element. I will say my list, and the index position of this nested list is this particular nested list. The index position is 0, 1, 2, and 3. That is, it is at index position 3. So I will say here index position 3. This will this will point to this entire nested list. But if I again want to go to a particular element, let's say 2.0, which is at index position 1 of this nested list, I will say 3 and 1. And let me save and run this, and you can see I am getting this 2.0 printed here. Okay, so this is how we can also use nested lists. Okay, so this is how we can use lists, and I hope this was very useful, very interesting. I will see you in the next session. Thank you for watching, and never stop learning.